Hello again everyone, and by everyone I mean all 6 of you since that's the amount of views the video has before this one, and I doubt those 6 people will even return or even are real people. There could be bots that just flick through onto the page. But nonetheless, I watched Terminator Genesis not too long ago, in fact probably less than 24 hours ago. Yeah, it was. And I watched all of the Terminator movies, relatively speaking, decent. Number 3, the third one a bit funky, fourth one, yeah, not bad. But the fifth one, Genesis, was actually quite fun to go and watch as a kind of throwback, since I watched all of them, especially the first and second, well, which when I was quite young, and I found them very entertaining, although I don't think I was the appropriate age for them. And I think I watched the original Terminator when I was like 6 or 7, maybe a bit older. And the Terminator, when it moved in stop motion in the first one, scared the living daylights out of me. Which is quite bad, but to think about that now, but it's not really that big a deal. It didn't really scar me for life or anything. And it's a good movie on an all-round scale. Action's good, CGI's not bad, storyline confusing as shit because it's time travel, but instead of going with the simple time travel that was already in place from the first 3 movies, they did some really weird mental time travel, different timelines. One person can experience 2 different parts of a timeline if they were at a critical point in the timeline and they witnessed it, and then it basically just really went off the rails and had a very heavily ham-fisted message about that mobile phones and technology is ruining everyone. It was a bit clunky the way they explained it expositionally, but wasn't too bad. And although, to give spoilers, the good guys win, and I guess it kind of resets everything because Skynet is never created. Had some incredibly funny moments though, with Arnold as the perfect person that he is, playing an old Terminator, as well as, I guess technically the CG Terminator was also based on Arnold, so Arnold's doubly in the film, but he was very good at playing an old Terminator and really brought some character to it that was definitely needed, because the actual main guy, Kyle Reese, wasn't the best of characters, and John Connor was a terrible character in the film. Absolutely awful. I think the main problem with any kind of time travel is that it's incredibly complicated to try and keep anything on a level at all, and especially once they started doing or anything with time travel. I mean, Back to the Future, great film, but the time travel, bollocks, useless. The alternate timelines doesn't make any sense. And the way time travel works, at least in my head, I'm sure there's different interpretations of it, and in narratives you can say whatever you want about time travel because it's your story, but it should work that there's only ever one time, and that's it. You don't have alternate timelines, you don't have different possibilities, it's just there's one time, it happens one way. Yeah, it happens one way, and it should always be like that. So, for example, if in the future someone goes back in time and kills someone, they kill someone no matter what. It doesn't change. And if someone sees something happen, or they see themselves doing something, it happens. It can't not happen because they saw themselves do it. You can never change events because what happens all the time. Travel, it's just one continuous timeline. Which is the way I think time travel should work, and would work if it was ever realised in our reality, but I think it's basically impossible, if not indefinitely impossible, in the real world. But as a simple summary to my idea on how time travel should work, is that if in the future there is a time machine that's made, and I go back in time and I just say hello to myself, that happens no matter what. I can't then not go back in time and say hello to myself because it wouldn't happen. So if I do go back in time and say hello to myself, that happens, and it always happens no matter what. There isn't the, because I went back in time and said hello to myself, I thought I didn't want to do that, because that would obviously then make it so that I didn't go back in time and say hello to myself, making a paradoxical loop where I never go back and talk to myself. So it either happens or doesn't. There isn't any of this kind of, well, it happened in this time, and then the next time it didn't happen, but the other one still happened. In my mind, that's not how time travel can really ever work, or make any sense, really, if you go off that. Like in Looper had time travel elements to it, which again was actually a really good film, just really weird for how it handled the time travel, but pretty good nonetheless. On an all-round scale though, I would definitely say see Terminator Genisys. Good movie, action was good in it, completely good storyline. Not a bit, obviously, aside from the time travel funkiness, other than that, it's absolutely fine. It's a good narrative, and Arnold does make a big benefit to the movie with some kind of throwbacks and things like that, obviously, because that's what Terminator is about. So yeah, that's about everything I had to speak about at the moment. So that is obviously the Terminators and time travel, which is a bit of a weird one to go on, but it's just what's been on my mind as of the current time. I've also realised that I can't link my Twitter and Instagram as easily as I wanted to, so I'm just going to put them in the bio bit down below, as I said. Love to hear from anyone who ever watches these things, whether it be in the comments or by a tweet or whatever, as it'd be very interesting to see what people think of what I'm doing, and knowing if it is really worth the time that I'm putting into it, which is about 10 minutes to 20 minutes of the middle of the night.